We will now discuss Jose Rizal, the polymath. Now, ang tanong natin dito, no, ano nga ba yung polymath? No? Simply put, a polymath is someone who is an expert in multiple fields of study. Tulad ito ni Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, si Maya Angelou, di ba? Magaling sila sa arts, magaling sila sa science, no? Biology, medicine, at ganun, marami pa, no? At dito, makita din natin si Rizal, isa rin siyang polymath, no? Rizal was not just a writer and a revolutionary, he was also a doctor, a scientist, engineer, sculptor, linguist, historian, teacher, and even a farmer. His breadth of knowledge was unparalleled among Filipinos of his time. Kahit nga yung ano ngayon, 'di ba? Kahit nga yung mga ngayon, no? Parang wow, nakakabilib pa rin 'tong mga accomplishment niya, no? But more than just being intelligent, he used his knowledge for the Philippine Reform Movement. Nagsimula ito sa pagkabata niya. According to our notes in Module 4, Rizal's early education in the Philippines laid the foundation for his polymathic tendencies. He attended Ateneo Municipal and the University of Santo Tomas, excelling in multiple disciplines. Sa Ateneo, Rizal earned a Bachelor of Arts degree and received sobresaliente, meaning excellent marks in almost all subjects. Sa UST naman, una nang pinag-aralan ng philosophy and letters, pero nag-shift siya sa medicine to help cure his mother's failing eyesight. At habang ginagawa na ito, he also took a vocational course in land surveying and assessment sa Ateneo, which later helped him when he planned a settlement in Dapitan. Imagine juggling all these subjects. If Rizal were alive today, siguro summa cum laude siya, no, sa iba't ibang mga degrees. According to our notes in Module 5, Rizal left for Spain in 1882 to study medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid. But instead of focusing only on medicine, he immersed himself in multiple disciplines. While in Madrid, he earned his licentiate in medicine, but also took philosophy and letters at the same time. He became a member of scholarly societies like the Círculo Hispano-Filipino and Freemasonry, where he owned his political and intellectual ideas. He also mastered multiple languages. By the time of his death, he could speak 22 languages. Imagine that, 22 languages, no? This ability made him effective in diplomacy and in exposing Spanish abuses in the Philippines. Iba't iba din yung contribution ni Rizal, no, sa iba't ibang mga fields, no. Unahin natin dito yung medicine and science. Rizal specialized in ophthalmology to help his mother, training under renowned doctors in Paris and in Germany. He performed successful eye surgeries in Hong Kong and Dapitan. In Dapitan, he also worked as a scientist, discovering new species like the Rhacophorus rizali, a type of frog, and the Draco rizali, a flying lizard. No? This reminds us that our heroes, they are not just political figures, they are also problem solvers. Rizal did not just complain about problems, he actively worked to solve them. Nung habang nasa exile siya sa Dapitan, Rizal designed a water system to bring clean drinking water to the community. Nagpapakita ito yung kagalingan ni Rizal sa engineering at sa agriculture. He applied his land surveying skills to map out areas for better farming techniques. He also introduced modern farming methods to help the locals. As noted in Module 6, his efforts in Dapitan made him more than just a revolutionary. He was a nation builder. Sa literature at arts naman, no, hindi natin makakalimutan yung mga ambag ni Rizal. According to our notes in Module 7, Rizal's greatest contributions to the reform movement were through his literature. His novels, No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo, exposed the injustices of Spanish rule and inspired the Philippine Revolution. He also wrote poetry, essays, and scholarly works such as his annotation of Antonio de Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which countered Spanish colonial myths. Dito kasi sa libro na ito, parang ang daming bias against sa mga Filipino. At sa annotation niya, pinakita niya na mali si Antonio de Morga. Pinakita na dito yung mga natutunan niya sa British Museum, no? Pinakita na dito na may kultura ang Pilipinas bago pa man dumating sa bansa ang mga Espanyol, no? Rizal was also a skilled sculptor and painter. He even made busts of his European friends and teachers. At ito nga, doon nga sa special lesson natin sa mga naging kaibigan ni Rizal, halos lahat sila, no, binigyan niya ng pieces of art, pieces of literature, mga poems, stories, painting, mga rebulto, mga ganun, no. So, Rizal showed us that the pen is mightier than the sword. His writings did not just challenge Spanish rule, they also awakened the Filipino consciousness. Rizal believed that education and knowledge, hindi violence, yung key sa progress ng Pilipinas, no? He founded La Liga Filipina, which aimed to unite Filipinos for peaceful reform. His works were used by revolutionaries like Bonifacio and the Katipunan, even though he never advocated for armed rebellion. If Rizal had only focused on medicine or only on writing, do you think he would have been as influential? No, isang what if yan, no? His ability to see multiple perspectives made him a powerful force for change. Rizal's emphasis on education remains relevant in today's fight for quality education. His belief in science and innovation mirrors modern calls for STEM education and research. Also, his love for literature makes it necessary for establishments, for institutions, to also put a focus on trying to teach students literature, the love for humanism, no? His multidisciplinary approach inspires today's leaders and professionals to think beyond their expertise. What if, what if we all had a bit of Rizal's mindset, no? Makita natin dito, the Philippines need polymaths, no? Especially leaders who can think critically across multiple fields. Class, yung short lesson natin today, no? Sana napakita natin na Rizal wasn't just a hero. He was a genius, a leader, a problem solver. His polymathy made him effective in challenging Spanish rule and inspiring Filipinos to fight for their rights. He used his intelligence not for personal success, but to uplift an entire nation. But celebrating Rizal's genius isn't just about remembering his accomplishments. It's about applying his principles in our own lives, especially in decisions that shape our future. One of the most crucial ways we can do this is by choosing the right leaders in the upcoming elections. Rizal valued education, critical thinking, and competence. If we truly want to honor his legacy, we must vote for leaders who embody these values, those who have clear plans, genuine knowledge of governance, and strong vision for progress. Beware of candidates who run on empty promises, who lack the expertise to lead on, or those who rely on popularity rather than competence, no? maawa naman na kayo sa bansa natin. No? Maawa kayo sa mga tulay na nagsisibagsakan, maawa kayo sa mga uh, graft and corruption scandals, no? Maawa na kayo dyan, no? Bakit tayo boboto ng mga rapists? Bakit tayo boboto ng mga may kaso na? Bakit tayo boboto ng mga ng kadiliman o kasamaan, no? Parang awa niyo na po, no? Anyway, Rizal fought against ignorance, and it would be a disservice to his legacy if we allow unqualified leaders to take control of our country's future. Thank you very much.